Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're doing really, really well. So look, right now, just in an interview with one of my soon-to-be superstar clients, Daniel. He's doing some pretty big things in relation to service accommodation, property. So I wanted to get him on here right now to share his story, you know, give some tips, some advice, along with a lot more things. Here's the man himself, man. Daniel, how's it going, bro?
I'm all good. Yourself?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. It's good to have you over here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. So look, we're going to get into a lot. We're going to get into quite a bit. But, you know, for those that may not be too familiar with yourself, you know, just give a little bit of an introduction as to, you know, a little bit more about yourself.
So yeah, my name's Daniel. I've got a property company. We do management, service accommodation, investments, the lot. We cover everything. So like I'm the CEO. There's someone else that's my partner. And yeah, I mean, it's been going good.
So look, with regards to property itself, how long would you say you've kind of been involved in the game for now?
Not long, about 7 months.
7 months, yeah?
7, 8 months.
Okay. How's the journey been for you so far?
Quicker than I thought, you know. When I first got into it, I was thinking maybe like take on 1 or 2 places. But now I'm 5 deep after 6 months, yeah.
When you say 5 deep, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that?
So I've got 5 rent-to-rents.
5 rent-to-rents, yeah. Okay, 5 rent-to-rents. That's decent. We're in the space of 7 months?
Yeah.
Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. So we'll talk about that a little bit more with regards to the details of a little bit more about that. But take us back a little bit, you know, before that, before you got started off in property and just in business in general, to be fair, because I know right now you're doing other stuff. You've got like a clothing brand. We can definitely touch on that as well. But prior to all of that, talk to us a little bit more about yourself and where you started off from.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't smooth. So from like a young age and that, I got on the wrong side of the law. So I was just getting into trouble and stuff. And just, yeah, I went jail. Done about just over 8 years in jail.
Okay.
Throughout my 20s. So I got in trouble like 19, 18 years old. Throughout my 20s, got into like a bit of a vicious circle with it. About 29, I got out and I just thought, things need to change really. I had enough of this. I started with the clothing company, MVP Clothing. Something I always wanted to do, like gym was my thing. I loved the gym. So fitness clothing, like it was a market that I was always interested in. So yeah, I did that, got into that, built that, and that was generating me good income. It's still going now. Like I still make money from it now. And then property was something else I always wanted to do. But the way I looked at it was like, you can't get into property unless you got money. Because I didn't understand it. So I thought unless you've got like hundreds of thousands or enough to buy a deposit, and then you need to save to get another deposit. That's how other people got into it. But then obviously I come across yourself, and then obviously I realized like the rent-to-rent model and stuff. And then I was quite interested. And yeah, like obviously I reached out to yourself. We had a little chat and that. I think I was a bit hesitant at start. But yeah, got going. See me, I'm the type of person when I want to do something, I either do it 100% or I don't do it at all. So I was like that when I was getting in trouble. I'd either do something and get in serious trouble or, do you know what I mean? So yeah, when my head's fixed on something, I'm stubborn. So like, I remember getting into it and I was thinking, I want to get as many as I can. And then within a month, I got 2 places, which was a bad idea.
Oh, why was that a bad idea?
When you're getting into rent-to-rent, you got to kind of learn from your mistakes. So I've took on 2 places at the same time. I'm ordering stuff for both places. I don't know where's going, which place is for what. I don't know the setup. I just everything. But that's the problem I do. Put my foot right into it and I just go head first. I'm glad I did it though in a way, because now it's easier. When I get a place now, it's like clockwork.
Of course. I see. Now, I was speaking about that before in terms of the actual rent-to-rent business itself. Like the hardest or most time-intensive part is actually the setup side of things. When it comes to actually setting up the property, getting the furniture in, assembling everything. Nah, I feel you on that, to be fair. So
I hate
2
that
at once.
bit, but yeah,
it's the worst. It's definitely the worst. Going back to what we spoke about before you got started off in property, and obviously you talking about you being on the wrong side of the law or whatever. What kind of led you down that path, would you say?
When I was in school, I weren't a bad kid. I was always good in school. I weren't that bad, like kids are kids, but I wasn't a bad kid. When I got to about 16, I got around like the wrong crowd and stuff. And then one thing leads to another. And then, yeah, just got in trouble. See, when you get into something like that, it's very hard to get out of. It's like a vicious circle.
Did you kind of like, obviously I know for myself as well, we come from a very similar background. You know, when I was younger, I was like, you know, around the wrong people, got into a lot of like street related stuff, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I kind of saw it as being bro, I'm gonna lie to you, bro, it's very alluring. I saw people involved with that life, but I saw some of them are making big money, man. Like big money. Even people like I was very close with, like people that were very close to me, like they were making big money. I was like, wow, like I want that to be me type of thing.
100%. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I don't know about you, but with me, most of the people that I was around, they were older than me. So I kind of looked at how they were and I thought, you know, that's the path I wanted to go down. And obviously it's not a good path.
Of course, not 100%. But when you're young, like, you know, you're gullible. You look up to the people that have like the nice things in life, you know what I'm saying, that are living the lifestyle that you want to live, regardless as to how they got it.
Yeah, of course.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then you're seeing how they got it. You're thinking, okay, shit, like that means I need to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really kind of seeing the entrepreneurs, the business owners, like they're out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
That's right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's your environment. It's what you're around. Sometimes you become what you're around.
100%, man. 100%. So for you, you'd say it's more like the people that you're around and the allure of what can come with it, basically, that kind of led you down that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you spent a lot of your 20s in jail. Like when did you first go jail?
I went jail when I was 19.
19, yeah?
Yeah, I come out when I was 23.
Okay.
Didn't learn my lesson. I fell back into that lifestyle. I tried to change and then I went back to jail when I was 26.
Okay, a couple of years later.
Yeah, and then I come out when I was 29.
So what was that turning point for you, would you say?
I had a daughter, so I realised the effect it would have on her because I didn't have no kids on the first sentence.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know, I just got to an age where I thought like, most of my 20s, I watched everybody else enjoy their life and do things and experience things. Like I never even went on a lad's holiday, nothing. So it was just one of them ones where I just thought like, what am I doing? Like as good as it is, it's not like the real side to it. It's not like all that. Do you know what I mean? And the effort and time that I've wasted, I could have put into something legitimate. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just looked at it like that. Don't get me wrong. There's loads of people that they constantly go back all their life. Sometimes people have a turning point.
Okay. So do you feel like if it wasn't for you having a kid, you may have not had that turning point?
No, I think that was like a factor. I still think I would have like changed. Don't get me wrong. I just thought sometimes you just get to an age where you feel, I was tired as well. Like, I was like, this ain't the life anymore. Do you know what I mean? Riding bang up. And I also feel like as well, if I'm to move it with business, I feel like any struggles now I have or any obstacles in business, I don't find them like, it doesn't stress me. It's not a struggle because I know what real struggle is. I know what real stresses are. So any obstacles I had in the past, this is nothing. Do you get what I mean? So I think it makes business life a lot easier.
Yeah. And for those, like, obviously for people that may not know, like, what did you go jail for?
So I went jail for selling drugs, both times.
Both
it was
times,
always, selling drugs.
Oh, selling drugs, yeah. Nah, I feel you, man. Just in case certain people are like, oh, this guy is in there for something cool.
Yeah, no. Yeah, possession with Class A with intent.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. And you mentioned, obviously, there were different factors that led you to wanting to change. What had to change with you to help you with that transition or to make that transition possible?
You got to take ownership and accept you're an idiot or you're wrong for what you did. You see, the young me, I used to always find excuses for everything I did. So I'd be like, I'd always feel hard done by. That's the best way to say it. And yeah, you just need to sit there and actually like take self-accountability and be like, do you know what? Don't feel sorry for yourself that you got nicked or you're sitting in here. You put yourself in here. You cause your own luck in life. You know, when people say, oh, he was lucky, he made it, he was lucky. No, you make your own luck. Do you know what I mean? You make the odds more lucky for yourself by the work you put in.
Do you get people that kind of say that to you at times?
Well, like now.
Yeah. Well, like, not may say that, but they may think that. You can kind of sense it.
Yeah. There's people that are still on the roads and stuff that, will say, oh, yeah, like you're lucky to be doing whatever you're doing now, but everyone has the same chance in life. Do you know what I mean?
No, I feel you, man. So why, obviously there was different factors that led you to changing, but how is it that someone like yourself is kind of able to go through that transition? And, you know, there's a lot of people out here, because look, even for me, I know from first-hand experience that the transition isn't easy, man.
No, it's not. And that's what I say about obstacles in business. Like, you see, when I came out, I couldn't even get a bank account. Like, I don't know if I couldn't get nothing. I couldn't get a bank account. I couldn't get a phone in my name. Like, they make it hard for you. So I got turned down for like 15 banks. Monzo accepted me.
They didn't accept me.
Oh, they didn't accept you. Monzo accepted me, luckily, and I couldn't even get a phone. And this is why they say, like, it's really hard for people to get out of that cycle, because if you are trying to change and then you've got all these obstacles already, some people are like, because there is an easy life to go back to. It's not hard. Like, it's easy to make money and do that. So I understand why people go back to it. Do you know what I mean? But it's whether you want to be determined enough to just like take the brunt of it for a while. Because don't get me wrong, I've been out, 4 years? Finally, like, it's got easier. I can like get credit cards and, do you know what I mean?
No, 100%, man. 100%. So in terms of like for yourself, okay, you kind of went through that transition period. Where did that lead to?
What do you mean?
Okay, so you put the roles to the side now. You went to focus on legit stuff. What happened going forward?
What, when I first came out?
Yeah.
So I've got a friend, he's like one of my best friends, legit guy, been legit all his life. He's got his own business. He's got a courier business that does deliveries.
Yeah.
So when I came out, like, luckily, sometimes it's good to have good people around you. He gave me like a job. So I was doing like same day deliveries.
Okay.
So delivering parcels all over London, everywhere. And I just put my head down. I saved up enough money. I just like drove mad hours, saved up enough money. And then, then I went into the clothing thing while I was still working though. So like I brought stock and then started marketing it.
What's clothing? What do you mean? You say clothing thing, what do you mean?
So with the MVP clothing.
Oh, what's that?
So like fitness wear.
Okay.
Started contacting suppliers. While I was in jail, I already knew I wanted to do this. So I already read books on how to do it.
Yeah.
You've got nothing but time in there. How to start a clothing brand. I had these books all sent in. So I kind of like just studied while I was in there with this. Then when I came out, I already knew like the name of the brand, the type of clothing I wanted.
Yeah.
So then when I contacted suppliers, I already knew what I wanted. So it kind of made the process a bit quicker. And I just also read books on marketing because I knew marketing's important. So that's just how I did it when I come out.
Okay, so you got started off with the clothing business. Like how... And I actually checked out your page as well, man. You got a pretty big following, man. As of when I last checked, you had about 54,000 people following you. That's a big following, man.
Yeah.
How was you able to kind of get it to that point?
Marketing.
Okay.
Having people wearing the brand, stuff like that. You probably notice certain people that are wearing it on the page. And stuff.
Yeah. How are you able to get people to promote your brand like that?
Some people are willing to do it. Some people it's paid promotion. It all depends.
Okay, I see what you're saying. How's that going for you right now?
Yeah, I mean, it generates a good income. It's paid for me to start this other business now.
Hey. So what made you like, why, obviously it's at a good level in terms of like the following, the brand and stuff. I can see it's quite strong. What made you kind of go from, I want to say transitioning from that because you're still doing that, but what made you look into other things such as property?
Property is something I've always wanted to do. Like I said, I just thought, because actually I didn't know much about property. I thought it was one of them things where you need to save for a mortgage. You put someone in the property, you make your couple £100 a month from the rent, then you save for another mortgage. That's how I thought it was. It was like that slow process. But obviously when I saw your videos and I realized like some of the videos you were doing, like people were saying, oh, I'm making £1,000 a month by not owning the property. At first when I saw it, I was like, what's this rubbish? Let me have a look at this. I had a look at it and then obviously one of my other friends was like already in a course with someone else. Yeah. And he kind of explained it to me as well. And I was just like, wow, I didn't know you could actually do this. So I looked more into it and then I got interested. And obviously I messaged yourself, but I actually messaged yourself just for a chat. But by the end of that chat, I ended up getting on the course. But I'm glad I did.
So 7 months ago, you jumped on a call, got you onboarded onto the program, and you pretty much officially kickstarted off your property business. So now talk to us about how the journey's been for you throughout that time.
So within a month, I got 2 rent-to-rents one in Nottingham, one in Coventry. Then I got another one in Milton Keynes, another one in Coventry. And then the landlord from the original Nottingham one offered me one of his properties, which we'd done on another video. And that one was a state. I've done that one as a delayed purchase, like a lease agreement.
Okay. How does that work?
A lease option is basically you agree a price. So say you had a property, you wanted to sell it to me and we agreed the property was 95k. You want to sell it for whatever reason and I can't buy it right now. So we agree now with a contract that it's 95k, but I've got 5 years to buy the property. So in 5 years' time, whether the property's gone down or up, I still can buy it at 95k. And in that 5 year period, I'm going to be doing rent to rent with it. So with the property that the landlord offered me, it needed a lot of work doing. So I basically explained this to him, but he didn't have the money to like fix it. So he said, do you want to buy it? And I basically said like, I can't. And then he actually offered me that option. So I weren't aware of it. So I kind of looked into it and I thought, do you know what? This works out best for the both of us. I put money into it, fixed it up. I'm going to be renting it out for 5 years. So I'll be generating £1,000 a month for the next 5 years. It'll pay for its own mortgage deposit. Do you know what I mean? Without me needing to put any money into it.
So just to kind of paraphrase, you're buying that property, you've agreed to buy it, but just pay for it at a later date, which is 5 years later. And and you're agreeing it to a price at, how much was it again?
So it was 95k, yeah.
95k, yeah.
And people think like, why would the landlord want to do that? But there's so many different situations. There's actually a lot of landlords that are probably willing to get rid of certain properties, but they just don't want to put the money into it.
Of course.
So, yeah.
So like the benefits for you, for people that don't know, okay, yeah, you know, you can pay for it later on, but why not just pay for it now type of thing, you know? For people that would ask a question like that, how would you respond?
Because why should I, when the money I'm going to make from the rent to rent will pay for itself? So I can use that other money to invest into something else.
So the £1,000 per month that you'll be making from this property, you can just put that towards the deposit for the actual property itself.
Say, for example, it's a 25% deposit. What's that, about 23 grand, 22 grand?
Yeah,
something like that. Well, within 2 years, I can just buy it off him. I don't have to buy it in 5 years. I've got 5 years to buy it. Do you know what I mean?
So in 2 years, you would use the money that you've made from the property as a rent to rent to put forward as a deposit to actually buy the house.
Yeah, there you go.
So you pretty much haven't paid for the property at all.
No.
Okay. That is, some people may think, nah, this guy's chatting shit, man. It sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, Google it. It's the way it works. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the plan for you then? Is that what you intend to do with this property?
Yeah. So it's all been done now. It's being rented out now, rent to rent.
Okay. So how many properties do you actually have, or rent to rent properties as of now?
I've got 5 at the moment.
You've got 5. And how much would you say they're generating you on average per month?
Altogether, between 4 to 5k.
4 to 5k. And how long would you say it took you to go from 0 to 5?
7 months, that's when I started. So yeah, about 7 months. It's a lot of work.
7 months into it, you got to the point where you're making 4 to 5k profit per month. That's not bad, man.
That's all right.
That's actually very good, man.
I remember when we spoke and I said to you I was wanted to take 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And you were like, nah, be a bit more ambitious. And then, yeah.
No, 100%. Because look, 7 months, if that's happened, where could you possibly be in the next 7 months, for the 7 months after that? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot to be done, just man. So for yourself, you've got 5 properties now, 5 rent to rents, took you 7 months. What do you feel like people need to know and understand about this business that they may not be aware of because they haven't started?
That's a good question. It's not as simple as just getting a property, putting furniture in it and putting it on Airbnb.
Okay.
You've got to understand how things work, because it's not a saturated market, but a lot of people do it. So you've got to understand why people want to book your place. And that's where you come into it. You explain a lot of things in your course, like then just because a lot of people have come to me and said, oh, you do rent to rent. I've seen that you do this. I've got a property, so I'm just going to like put this furniture in it and then just show me how to put it on Airbnb. And I'm like, don't work like that. You've got to understand like the market, even doing the interior of a place, you know, what the guests need, everything. And there's more to it, contracts, everything. Do you get what I mean?
So for yourself, like, what do you feel like has been some of your biggest struggles as you've, progressed in this business?
Dealing with guests.
Okay.
The admin side of things. Just things like that, really. Admin and like doing a lot of computer stuff has not always been my best thing. But yeah, I think guests can be a headache, man.
Tell us some stories, man.
Parties. Like you got to keep the neighbours happy as well. You've got to be respectful. But yeah, if someone's going to come and chuck a party and just piss everyone off, including yourself.
Yeah.
I remember one time we had a party in one of my places in Nottingham. I must have gone to sleep. So obviously I've got Ring doorbells.
Yeah.
So I can see who's checked in, and it was 4 girls booked the place.
Yeah.
I check on the Ring doorbell, I've seen it's 4 people, so it's fine. I've just left it. I've gone to sleep. For some reason, I woke up. I don't know why. I think because I turned my phone on silent.
Yeah.
And I think the flashing of my phone kept going off. And then I had a look at my phone, and there was like all these notifications. And I looked at the Ring doorbell, and there was about 40 people in my 3-bedroom flat.
Yeah.
I was just, and I could see them arguing on the Ring doorbell with the neighbours. And I was just like, oh my God. So luckily they actually left, but it's one of them ones where you just got to be careful.
How did you deal with that?
There's loads of ways of dealing with it. You can actually, there's actually people that you can pay for, like security teams that will come to the property. I didn't do that. So luckily I haven't got to a point where I've had to go to a place. I've lied though. I have said I've got security and they will remove you just to get them out. But if they didn't listen, I'd have to go drive them myself. But yeah, no. In terms of that, they have left, but a few people have trashed the place as well.
Is there?
Yeah, and you have to always remember to get them to sign, so they obviously pay a deposit, because I made that mistake and I didn't, because I didn't want to put people off booking. So I just thought, let anyone book. I soon realised, people have to pay a deposit because it's not their house, they don't care.
Of course.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you come to one of our properties and there was a hole in the wall. And I was just like, oh, someone slammed the door. They just don't care, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, no, you these are the mistakes you learn from. Like, don't get me wrong now. I'm more like stricter now with like who takes the place on and that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I even give them a warning, not a warning notice, but just like parties are no-go. If I do see like you're having parties and the neighbours, they will let me know. Like I warn them, do you know what I mean? So they thinking there's no point wasting our time here because we're just going to get kicked out.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you. So in terms of like going forward for yourself, what's the plan, man? What's the plan with that?
I don't know. Build the brand. So I want to actually build the brand. I want it to be a brand that people can come to, and the places I have are not just like, I have them at like a high standard. So I want people, if they want to go somewhere, I don't know, not in, like I'm going to have them in every city. So if they want to go London, Nottingham, Milton Keynes, wherever to stay, and they want to stay somewhere nice, which is not a hotel, they can just go onto my website or my page and see what's available.
So you almost want to compete with Airbnb?
No, I'm never going to compete with Airbnb, but
you don't say never, man. Never say never, bro.
I feel like the standard of Airbnb is not the best. Like if you go on Airbnb now and you put an error in, like even the pictures or the quality of the places, for someone who don't want a hotel, they ain't the best. So I'd try and always be above that.
So like Booking.com, you want to compete with Booking.com?
Can't compete with them. But even there's like, don't get me wrong, they do hotels, but the houses they do, it's because whoever's on Booking.com is on Airbnb, so it's the same sort of market.
The clientele, I mean, it's a little bit different though. I mean, not always, but a lot of times it's a bit.
I mean, 90% of my bookings are Booking.com.
Same here. Yeah, before it was like that as well. Yeah, 100%. So, okay, so for you going forward, building the brand, so you've got the clothing brand and you've got the property brand as well. Are you trying to kind of link the two together or just keep them separate?
The MVP thing, I think it's just going to be like an empire. So if I go into something else, it'll be MVP, whatever else. That one day I decide to go to. Do you get what I mean?
What's that stand for?
Well, it was most valuable player when it was the fitness thing. So, you know, like the MVP.
Yeah, of course.
Could be anything. Like even in MVP living, it's the most valuable property. It can be anything. Do you know what I mean? You can use it to how you want, really.
Nah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Okay, so you're just gonna keep building up the, you know, the brand, the business. That's the plan for you. That you're not stopping anytime soon with that.
No. Just getting started, to be honest.
How similar do you think the roads and business and entrepreneurship is or are?
Not like, it's not majorly like similar, but there's people that run actual legit businesses that I think you're an idiot compared to people that make money on the roads, and I think you would do so much of a better job than some of these people that are actually doing all right. Do you get what I mean? How do I give an example? Maybe a drug dealer. Like, what does a drug dealer do? They have to work out numbers, profit. They have to deal with customers. I know it sounds silly, but they do.
It's a business.
It's a business. You have to do all that in a legit business. Don't get me wrong, the money's not coming as quick. You've got to pay your taxes. You're going to have to pay charges for a lot of things to get in on that route, but at least you're not having to hide it, and you can scale something that 10 times more you'd scale doing it on the roads. Business on the roads and business, actual businesses, you want to be known in business. On the roads, you're not meant to be known.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. Some people
yeah, and then you're just going to go down that route. But in terms of if you do things properly on the roads, you've got to be as hidden as possible.
Of course. And
make as much money as possible. But you can brand yourself and your business in actual business as big as you want because you've got nothing to worry about.
Of course. No, I mean, the reason I asked that is because I definitely see obviously it's not, everything's not similar. Obviously most of it isn't, but there's definitely quite a few key similarities to where if you, like, for example, with like different parts of being on the roads, like shotting, for example, like you've got marketing, you've got sales.
Yes, marketing,
you've got branding. Product,
everything,
managing a team. Like it's literally, it's the same concept, bro. In terms of just like the functioning of whatever business you're doing on the roads, whether it's shotting or whatever, I think it's pretty much copy and paste, man.
100%.
You sure what I'm saying? So I think people that actually do their things on the road, like they make big money. I agree, man. Not, obviously, there's always some exceptions. There's always people that are idiots, but a lot of people that are on the roads doing their thing, bruv, if they were to kind of like put that same mindset, that same focus and that same energy towards like some legit stuffs, bro, like I think they'd kill it, man.
They would, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So people that wanted to get started off with this business, but they're thinking to themselves, you know what? I'm not sure, man. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's going to work out. It's too saturated. There's too many people doing it. You know, what if I don't get any bookings? What about new regulations coming in? People that are just like, they want to do it, but at the same time, it's just, there's that fear holding them back. What would you tell those people?
For people that are working a normal job and they're looking to do something like this, I mean, do you want to work a normal job forever? It depends how much they don't want to do their job anymore. Some people are happy just going day to day in life. But if you want more for yourself and you want to actually build something, and I call it financially free. I did this to be financially free. Like, we all want to be super rich, but I don't want to be rich, rich, rich. I'm happy just to be financially free.
What's financially free? Just not having to work?
It's not having to work. I can do what I want. If I want to go on holiday tomorrow for 2 weeks, I can go on holiday. Do you get what I mean? I don't have to ask a boss. You know, if I want to buy something in a shop, I can. I don't have to be like, oh, well, I need to wait till the end of the month till my wages come in. That's financially free. If that's what you want in life, then you've got to take risks. So you can look at this and be like, it's a risk, but everything's a risk. If you're not taking risks, then you're not going to get to where you need to be in terms of things like this. A job is safe. A job's always going to be safe to an extent if people lose their jobs, but generally paycheck to paycheck, you know you're getting that amount. If you're happy with safe, then you've got to understand that you can't do everything you want in life. All the successful people that like have done well, they've took risk, but they've fucked up along the way as well. Like, I'm not saying you can just start this and everything's plain sailing. Like, you might lose a bit of money or you might just make some mistakes. But in the long run, like, I've tried 100 things and this has worked probably the best for me in terms of how short I've got to a target. So, yeah.
So Daniel, what's the final words you want to leave with the people? If
you want to do anything, you got to be consistent. Consistency is the most important thing. You might feel like something's not working. You've just got to keep at it. If you really want it to work, it'll work. And you got to take that first step. So many people don't take that first step.
Why? Why do you feel like they don't take that first step?
They could be scared. They could feel like I said, they could feel they're going to lose their money, like loads of things. But take that first step. You ain't going to know. Like, if you learn to swim, you've got to go into the deep end, ain't you, really, to learn.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. You just got to take that first step and be consistent. It'll pay off.
Well, there you go, people, man. This is our interview right here with the man, Daniel. By the way, Daniel, if people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
MVP Living. So MVP.living is my Insta, and MVP.clothing official is the clothing.
Clothing, yeah. Check him out, people. Make sure you're showing him some love. I'm going to wrap this interview up right here. Appreciate you lot taking the time. I'm going to catch up with you in the next one.